Bearing the highly regarded Swiss-made label, Pablo colored pencils feature a water-resistant .38mm wax core encased in a cedar hexagonal barrel with a capped end. The Caran Dache name, Pablo branding, pencil number, and color name are slightly inlaid on the barrel in gold leaf. Though classy, I find this somewhat inconvenient because it's a lighter color and shiny. It can be hard to see this information depending on the light around you. They come in a variety of sets, up to 120 unique colors. Prices vary depending on the outlet and location. I live in the US, so prices will be listed in USD. I'm not including tax or shipping, as that will vary depending on where you live. I'll be looking at Blick, as I do not shop at Amazon. At the time of this review, the cheapest set of 12 cost $22, a set of 18 cost $38, a set of 30 cost $54, a set of 40 cost $74, 80 will run you $147, while the full set of 120 colors cost $196. They are open stock and cost $288 per pencil, $207 if you buy 12. The pencils come in a bright red tin. It's covered in a cardboard sleeve that protects it and doubles as a swatch sheet, also providing all the information you'll need on your new art supplies. The tin is hinged and feels sturdy when opening. You'll be greeted by two sheets, one with some company history and the other providing transparent labels so you can identify what's inside. Each tray has a foam sheet protecting the pencils from damage during shipping and storage if you are a little rough with your supplies. Each tray lifts out, and the center has plastic lift tabs, making it easy, though not for me because I fumble with everything, to lift it out. The bottom tray sits snugly in place via indentations that keep it from bouncing around and lifting up. This would be the second time I'm going to swatch them, and you'll see the swatches I made at the end of this little piece of footage here. But I went pretty hard on them, going for a burnish in one pass, and I got an acceptable amount of crumbs throughout all my other usage. I noticed the same thing, and only had a few points splinter on me, but nothing crazy, not like Prismacolor. These swatches here, it was the same thing. I didn't find any real flaws while doing that, except I had one point break, but I'm pretty sure that is my fault, and it's the only point I've had break on these pencils. Now for general usage. This section is based off of my experiences. I primarily used Prismas before, so I'll be using those as my baseline. I do have some open stock luminants and polys that I'll draw on for comparisons as well. I considered not mentioning other brands in this review, but I strongly believe one's viewpoints are relative to their experiences. Therefore, I think it is best to reference other brands to create relatable baselines, as nothing happens in a vacuum. I chose to use an illustration from Jazza's J-Pack so I can focus solely on the pencils. I know this is marker paper, but I have used these in coloring books of varying quality, rough and vellum mixed media, and on cold pressed watercolor. Given that, along with the amount of time I've been using them, I have a good feel for how they should act. The only drawback I notice is they seem to lift off the paper similar to how graphite would any paper. The only paper they've been iffy on is Amazon's cheap coloring book paper, though performing better than Prisma's did, allowing more layers and adequate blending. This was my first time using them with marker paper, and it worked surprisingly well. My curiosity has been piqued, so I'll probably be trying other brands of it with pencils in the future. So the first thing you'll probably end up doing is sharpening them. I have used them with 3 hand-driven blade sharpeners, and I'm currently using a hand-crank Dahl 155. I noticed bladed sharpeners can cause chippage in the barrel if the blade is dull or the shavings reservoir is full. This happened with a Comb Cube, Comb Jar, and minimally with a Prismacolor barrel, which seemed to work the best out of the 3. I don't know if this comes down to either being a soft wood, the shape of the barrel, or a combination of the two. The only point break I had was with the comb jar, which eventually broke halfway through sharpening the set. You'll probably want to use a helical sharpener. I've not had any issues with the Dahl 155. It repaired the chippage I had and hasn't broke or splintered any points. I also have not noticed... Very excited about the Dahl 155. It's a good sharpener, isn't it, buddy? I also have not noticed any splits in the barrels that could cause sharpening concerns. They are well built in this regard. The quality assurance department seems to do its job well. The capped end also seems to serve its purpose. I have dropped several of these off of a table onto a hardwood floor. The points splintered, but did not break. I've had no problem sharpening and noticed no damage to the barrel. Yeah, that's a microphone. Are you pointing at the microphone? Do you want to be a part of the review? What are your thoughts on Pablo's? Do you have any thoughts? No? Are you going to be shy now? When you go to start laying down color, if you work in light layers, they will hold their point from some time. Though labeled a wax soft core, they, in my opinion, sit somewhere in between Prismacolor and polychromos. They will hold their point and splinter less than Prisma, but will dull out faster than a poly. This goes for burnishing as well. If you find they are splintering, use less pressure. They can take quite a bit of abuse, but still have their limits. You can layer until your heart is content. It's easy to mix colors, add texture, and blend. They are extremely user-friendly and clearly telegraph their limits. I won't say they blend as easy as Prisma, but it's damn close. I've had several that have felt scratchy from time to time, but that diminishes quickly. At first they feel dry going down, but as you build your layers and come closer to a burnish, they begin... Yes. Microphone. Can you touch the microphone? There we go. At first they feel dry going down, but as you build your layers and come closer to a burnish, they begin to feel like Prisma. But don't let that scare you away from these. Unlike other wax pencils I've played with, they don't leave that sheen other pencils tend to create when light hits them at a sharp angle, even after a burnish. As far as blending and burnishing goes, I like to use either a lighter color from the set, a white Prismacolor, or Caran Dache pencil blender. I have not used Gamasol enough to feel confident in speaking on that. I wouldn't know if it's how I'm using it, the paper, or the pencils. I don't want to mislead you, so I won't speak on it. I did try the Prismacolor pencil blender marker as well. Though it worked well enough with both the counterfeit and real sets of Prismacolor, I was not impressed with how it interacted with the Pablos. In fact, I don't use it at all anymore. I wouldn't recommend it as it seems gimmicky at best to me. As for the white colored pencil in the set, you can see I am using a Caran Dache Luminance white pencil. The white pencil in the set, the few times I tried it, did not meet my needs. It may be good for burnishing or protecting highlights, but I have not used it in this fashion. I would supplement the set with a white pencil of your preference. I recommend the white Prisma for blending and the white Luminance for creating highlights and creating lighter values. Overall, for the $200 retailers like Blick and Jerry's charge, I would recommend this set in a heartbeat. The MSRP is too steep though. I would wait for a sale though if you're facing the $415 price point Caran Dache's set. It's not that they're not of a good quality, they're great. Between providing an excellent array of vibrant and earthy tones that perform well with many blue wool rated light fast pencils, the reasoning is sound. But with brands like Faber-Castell marking the Polychromos set of $120 at an MSRP of $350, the value proposition swings in their favor. If you're looking for a quality pencil that performs and can get them below MSRP, I would give them a go without question.